It has been nearly 5 decades since a human last walked on the lunar surface. Was this decision driven solely by budget constraints, or was there a more mysterious reason? According to some whistleblowers, there might be something on the moon that has been kept from the public. Officially, American astronauts successfully landed on the moon 6 times between 1969 and 1972. The final mission, Apollo 17, concluded on December 19, 1972. Although 3 more Apollo missions were planned, no other crewed expedition from any nation has returned. The official explanation for this sudden halt in lunar exploration was a change in financial and political priorities. At the height of the Cold War, America's victory in the space race by being the first to land a man on the moon provided President Richard Nixon with significant prestige and propaganda over the Soviet Union. However, the program's cost had ballooned from an initial estimate of $7 billion to over $20 billion, a massive expenditure that proved difficult to sustain. The technology of the era only permitted a few hours on the moon's surface during each mission. With no immediate discovery of natural resources or significant scientific breakthroughs from the initial trips, NASA struggled to secure the necessary funding to continue its lunar program. After the United States achieved its landmark victory, Russia's interest in manned lunar missions also waned. Subsequent missile treaties further limited advancements in the field, and dreams of a lunar colony were gradually relegated to science fiction. In the following decades, various nations, including India, China, and the USA, have sent a number of probes and robotic landers to different regions of the moon. Many of these missions have ended with the spacecraft crashing on the lunar surface, either due to technical malfunctions or after completing their objectives. Despite these expeditions, our knowledge of the moon has not significantly advanced since the early 1970s. Since the abrupt end of the Apollo program, several reports have surfaced suggesting that the crews encountered more than just rocks and dust. Stories have emerged of strange tracks on the ground near landing sites, mysterious objects floating in the sky, and imposing alien structures seen in the distance. These claims are sometimes supported by grainy, poor-quality photographs or audio files that have allegedly been erased or edited, fueling conspiracy theories. A common thread throughout these stories is the idea that the moon may already be inhabited by beings who are not welcoming to intruders. In 2015, a story circulated on Reddit, supposedly from a British psychologist who claimed to have seen confidential reports about moon landings that occurred after Apollo 17. While many aspects of this alleged testimony are difficult to verify, some commentators believe it lends credence to similar stories surrounding NASA's official landings. The anonymous source claimed that the Apollo 17 astronauts discovered the wreckage of another landing craft not far from their site. Inside the severely damaged vehicle, they reportedly found the bodies of several cosmonauts, all appearing to be of Soviet origin. What shocked the astronauts most was that the injuries seemed to have been caused by a physical assault rather than decompression or a crash. The Russian spacecraft was reportedly torn and punctured, and the helmets of the deceased cosmonauts were all smashed in a similar manner. The American crew was said to have immediately returned to their lander and requested permission for takeoff, only to be told they had to remain on the surface for several more hours due to technical issues. During this time, they allegedly sent panicked radio transmissions, claiming to see shadowy figures moving on the nearby hills and getting closer to their module. The psychologist also claimed that a joint British and Russian mission was sent to the crash site in 1990, and he was asked to help debrief the crew upon their return. According to his account, the Russian lander was attacked by unknown entities, an event witnessed by their controllers before all contact was lost. There is speculation that Russia has not fully disclosed the extent of its lunar endeavors. It has been alleged that personnel records of cosmonauts were altered to hide the deaths of pilots in failed missions. Amateur radio enthusiasts have also claimed to have intercepted desperate transmissions from dying cosmonauts whose spacecraft malfunctioned while orbiting the Moon. During the Apollo 10 mission in May 1969, crew members Gene Cernan and John Young reported hearing strange whistling sounds, which they described as outer space music, while on the far side of the Moon. Their controllers were unable to explain the phenomenon at the time. In later years, the incident has been attributed to radio interference between the VHF transmitters in their spacecraft. After the Apollo 15 mission in July 1971, transcripts of radio transmissions revealed that crew members David Scott and James Irwin discovered what appeared to be vehicle tracks at the base of Mount Hadley. They described these tracks as linear from east to west and uniform in nature. This is particularly intriguing, as Apollo 15 was the first mission to be equipped with a lunar rover. However, it is the claims made by the crew of the iconic Apollo 11 mission that have most captured the imagination of conspiracy theorists. They reportedly had multiple sightings of unidentified spacecraft and structures on the Moon. The first of these encounters was said to have occurred just 3 days into their mission. Commander Neil Armstrong asked for the location of the third stage of their Saturn V rocket. After a delay, he was informed that it should be 6,000 miles behind them. Armstrong then reported that something was traveling on a parallel course with their ship, describing it as a metallic, cylindrical object with a light source at one end. After losing sight of it, he again asked NASA for clarification and was told it was likely a loose piece of metal paneling from the booster. An even more startling radio conversation is believed to have taken place between Armstrong and Houston's control center immediately after he landed on the Moon. During a 2-minute period of transmission failure, it is alleged that Armstrong continued to transmit on a secondary channel, reporting that he could see metallic objects at the edge of a nearby crater. He supposedly described buildings that led beneath the Moon's surface and metallic vehicles parked in lines outside them. Although he is said to have taken many pictures, these images have never been released. He was reportedly ordered to return to the lander and later expressed concern that the occupants of the craft he had seen were observing him. In the years following the Apollo 11 mission, a number of individuals have come forward claiming that Armstrong privately admitted to the sighting on the condition that they did not record the conversation. He is said to have expressed great fear and apprehension about the craft he encountered, believing they were actively warning humans away from further exploration of the Moon. The deaths of 2 prominent ufologists in October 2018 have also generated considerable speculation. Both men were former members of the United States military who had made allegations against NASA regarding the concealment of extraterrestrial life on the Moon. Bob Dean, a former sergeant major in the U.S. Army, claimed that NASA had secretly destroyed up to 40 rolls of film from the Apollo 11 mission. He also stated that he had read a top-secret dossier that evaluated the potential threat of extraterrestrial invaders, which included photographs of downed alien spacecraft and autopsy findings of their pilots. Within a week of Dean's death, Karl Wolfe, a 74-year-old former U.S. Air Force sergeant, was killed in a traffic accident. Wolfe was a whistleblower who claimed to have seen evidence of aliens on the Moon. In 1965, while stationed at Langley Air Force Base, he was temporarily reassigned to NASA's Lunar Orbiter project. He described being shown a series of images from the lunar landscape that depicted a whole city of mysterious alien structures, including towers, domes, and mushroom-shaped buildings, all allegedly located on the dark side of the Moon. He expected to hear about this discovery on the news, but when weeks turned into months with no announcement, he realized the government had no intention of revealing the existence of the alien city. Photographs sent back from the lunar probes have shown some interesting anomalies, such as whites appearing in craters and what appear to be unnatural structures, some of which are several miles high. There are also those who assert that the moon may not be a natural satellite at all. Some commentators believe the moon's surface is merely an external shell for something far more sinister, such as a space station or a gigantic alien spacecraft. This is similar to the hollow Earth theory, which proposes a vast network of tunnels and caverns beneath the Earth's surface. As evidence for their claims, hollow moon theorists point to data from seismometers left on the moon's surface by the Apollo missions. Between 1972 and 1977, these instruments recorded a series of geological movements beneath the lunar landscape. During the Apollo 12 mission, the ascent stage of the lunar module was deliberately crashed back onto the surface. Monitoring stations on Earth then recorded a strange reverberation that continued for an hour, leading to the phrase that the moon rang like a bell. For subscribers of the hollow moon theory, this is evidence of vibrations echoing around huge, empty spaces beneath the thin layer of rock and dust we see. While sifting through the various stories that have emerged from the Apollo program, it is plausible that there may have been events on the moon's surface that defy conventional explanation. In some cases, NASA has provided varying degrees of justification. In others, they have allowed evidence that might have shed light on the truth to be destroyed. The physical and mental stress of the lunar missions may have been a factor, potentially affecting the psychology of those involved. The experiences of the astronauts could be attributed to optical illusions or the unforeseen failure of their equipment. And yet, the public imagination continues to be captivated by stories of sinister lunar residents. Perhaps there is some truth behind the rumors, and in the decades to come, we will discover that we do indeed have celestial neighbors we were previously unaware of. If that is the case, we can only hope they do not object to sharing this little corner of the galaxy with the human race.